Welcome to the Perfect Storm. We've got a bit of a mixed bag today, don't we?
Sure do.
We've got Calvin. Last name or not? You happy to leave
You
your last
can
name
have
out
my
of this?
last name, Drink All.
Drink it all. And Johannes,
Hello.
with the alternate European perspective.
Can you pronounce Johannes'
It's like
last
a
name?
never-ending joke, that.
Schaefer.
Schaefer.
Shepherd.
Shepherd.
Mm.
Very good.
There might be
Excellent.
calling in there. Who knows?
There could be. Yeah.
That's what Schaefer means.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Oh,
Excellent.
And Kelly.
hello.
Kelly, the crowd favourite.
Don't know. I wouldn't go that far.
Yeah.
Come on.
I don't know if that's true. I'm just assuming that you're a crowd favourite. Thank you all for being here. We this is obviously going to be the best show ever because it lacks
course.
both Justin and Phil. So thank
Yeah,
you
it's
for
a
being
big
here.
call. Let's put
Um,
the pressure on straight away, Kyle.
Mhm.
Come
Yeah,
on.
it has. A few comments on YouTube from last week. Basically, yes, Andrew is just saying that the robots can't lay the bricks and dig the trenches and drive the skid steer and mow the lawn and do all of those things
Yet.
as good as he can. That's not what he said. I just added that.
Yeah. Okay.
So, from couples in corporate America, I was exposed to most of the women that cared more about their careers and their family. Most of them planned out their lives to graduate uni, get married, get started in their career, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, we live in a world where we want quality right now.
Mm.
What's the saying? Short-term pleasure, long-term pain. Short-term pain, long-term
Short-term
pleasure.
gain,
Mm.
isn't it?
Pain. I thought it was
Pain.
pain.
Hmm.
You might
We'll
know
have
a
to
better
look
one.
that up later.
Actually, haven't
For-
heard that before.
If somebody had a computer, they could look it up now. Yes, Pam, we agree. Intergenerational labour. Men handed the job down to their sons on the same building. Have any of you three stepped into the same career that your parents had?
I haven't.
No.
No, my dad's job doesn't exist anymore.
What was it?
What was it?
Oh, he did. He worked in some office for the train company in Germany, and I think by now the job of his entire team is replaced by one bloke with a laptop
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
because he started when they were still all on typewriters, and the systems he was working on don't exist
Don't
anymore.
exist.
Yeah.
Okay. No, I haven't.
No. What did he do? Your parents?
Dad was a pastor. Mum was a nurse.
Mm-hmm.
I guess you could say I am partially in a role that my dad had, but it wasn't my initial career path.
What was your initial career path?
Sales.
Okay. That's similar to being a pastor.
Yes. But you want to return quickly.
Mm.
Whereas if you're talking about a sale from a pastor's point of view, it takes a little bit longer.
Okay.
Yeah.
And Kelly, walking in the footsteps or not?
No. Dad was a bank manager, lending officer, and Mum was in retail. So,
Okay.
no.
Nothing similar. All right, wonderful. Glad we got that out of the way. My dad's a mechanic. I like working on my own car, but not yours. So, historic flash. There's a bit of a mixed bag this week. Let's just, jumble through these stories and see where we get. A video of a young Scottish girl facing down some foreigners in her country with a hatchet and a knife has gone viral. And basically, some people are predicting that this will be the beginning of the liberation of the UK. They reckon this is going to be a symbol of fighting back and staying safe. Do you know more about this story, Johannes?
Well, no, I don't.
No,
I don't
perfect.
really know more about this. The only
Just
thing that
checking.
I've heard that the guy was not just there filming, but
Right.
also got a bit inappropriately touchy.
Okay.
But I mean, the British Isles have been cooked by migration for
For a long
for
time.
years now,
Mm.
in only the worst ways imaginable. And I mean, the kids must feel it the most because the new generation that's coming up is mostly foreigners.
So why did she have the hatchet and the knife?
Probably because she experienced yesterday and the day before that and the day
Protecting-
before that.
I
Yeah.
understand she was protecting herself. Yeah.
Kyle, just scroll down so
Yeah.
we can see the symbol.
Mm-hmm.
It's a hatchet and a knife.
Mm.
They're saying that's going to become the symbol.
Well, they
of-
just, because of this video and the context. So what happened was this girl ended up getting arrested and the person that she was trying to defend herself against didn't.
She's a child.
Mm-hmm.
How old?
13, isn't she?
13.
Maybe 14.
And
I've
she's
heard
carrying a knife
12,
and a hatchet.
14, yeah, anything like that.
Mm.
And that's going to free.
Well, they're suggesting that the UK is sick of white people getting locked up for defending themselves.
Right.
That's the suggestion.
Okay.
So am I correct in assuming that they're focusing on the girl and not the person that was following her? Is
Yeah,
that
apparently,
what's
yes.
happening?
Yes,
So
apparently.
there's
Okay.
nothing been said about what he was doing or...
Oh, that he was there for the wrong reasons.
Nefarious purposes.
For words that we don't often share on the radio station.
Yep.
But, there's a similar kind of thing happening in Australia in that people who defend themselves on their own properties are not protected.
They're not.
Mm.
Victoria, I think, are starting to look at changing that.
Mhm.
But the rest of the country at this stage hasn't engaged yet.
Mhm.
So what shape is that gonna, like a proper castle doctrine basically, or what? How are they looking at it?
They're looking at it from the point of view that if you are defending your property,
Mm-hmm.
that will be okay. Whereas at the moment, if you defend your property and you hurt the person that's coming in, you can be in trouble. For
You're
that.
on the hook for that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're
Yeah.
going to have some good guidelines on what
Yeah.
is actually defending your property.
And that's where it gets messy.
Yeah, a bit great.
Because how do you set a good guideline?
Right.
And then what happens? No situation is the same.
Mm.
Johannes might have an intruder come in and he'll deal with it because he's a big solid unit.
Mhm.
I might have someone come into my place and I won't be able to deal with it, or try to, and do something totally different. How do you how do you set up something that can be, well, that's what can...
Well, honestly, you can just look at it not from the point of the person that defends himself, but from the point of the person that intrudes, right? You can have the worst guidelines about this at all, or no guidelines whatsoever, but the person that is the intruder will know that anything, now I'm stepping over the line, now anything's possible. They could throw a nuke at me, right? So I better not do it. That's really it. We don't have to, we always look at it from the perspective of, could we do too much in the self-defense area? No, we should look at it from, no, even a certain amount of criminal behavior on my land is just, that's not going to
It's not
fly,
acceptable.
right?
Yeah.
You're not doing that.
I'm trying to remember, I did legal studies back in school.
Mm-hmm.
So that's a little while ago.
At least 10 years.
I'll go with that. That's
Yeah.
fine. Thanks, Kyle.
Yeah.
I think if you used, at the time, our teacher was saying, if you used the same force that was used on you, then you could defend it.
Mm-hmm. So if he pulls a knife while you're in a fisticuffs, then you just retreat to the kitchen, get your own knife,
Your own knife.
and get
and
back
come
into
back.
it.
You're not going to be able to do that, right?
Yeah. Sounds a bit silly.
So how do you set guidelines now?
Mm.
Because there's so many things that have happened and changed since I was in school and learning about that stuff. How do you set something that can be appropriate? I think it's a really murky area.
And I think the important thing, as we were saying a few episodes ago, was to know what you're going to do before you get into that situation. Because it's harder to make it's harder to have a think about the best way to act once it's already happening.
Absolutely.
Mm.
But let me tell you, the solution for this that the government's going to propose is not going to go into the direction of, somebody shouldn't intrude on your land, but it's more going to go into the direction of, we need to prohibit people from owning land. This is probably going to be closer to what's actually going to happen.
Well,
Well,
part of the economic forum last week, were you? Where they were proposing new taxes. Is that
I think
what
that's what's his name, Madani, the New York mayor of New York.
That guy, I have no idea.
Full sort of communist
Yeah.
manifesto stuff.
Mm.
Yeah.
No.
Well, New York
This
is a
is
beautiful
Australia.
place already. So
It was a beautiful place. It'd be interesting to see what happens there. We've got another horrific school shooting, unfortunately.
Mm.
Minneapolis Catholic school. Reports are varying still because this is pretty fresh, but at least a few kids dead and many injured, up to 20 victims. What's interesting about this story, don't want to focus on it for too long, the police chief is saying there is no motive. This person was had various genders or considered themselves to be at points a multiplicity of genders. But yeah, quite a lot of mental illness, I think it would be safe to say, even if it might sound offensive to some. But interestingly enough, this person with no motives and no agenda had a number of things written on their clips, their magazines for their guns. Things like, where is your God now? Kill Trump. Things like this. Does that sound to you like this person had no motives?
No.
You couldn't say they had no motive if they'd gone to the effort to write stuff like that.
Well, I guess it says that they had a mindset. I don't know about motive, that they had a way of thinking that could have led to that, their actions, whether or not it was a motive.
I guess they could have gone anywhere.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, they've chosen a church where people were worshipping. They could have gone to a shopping centre. They could
They
have
had
gone
it planned out, actually. They had the church.
They'd already mapped it out.
Yeah.
So that would suggest they had a motive.
I mean, if it says "Where's your God now" on the clip of the gun,
And
right?
you've gone to a church.
Yeah,
Mm.
it's kind of obvious.
You'd think so, right?
Yeah,
But
and
there is
a manifesto, isn't there? But we just haven't seen it.
Apparently.
Nobody that doesn't
Yeah.
have nobody who acts on impulse
Have
writes
a manifesto.
a multi-page manifesto before that. It's not going to be just gibberish in there.
And
There's going to be some.
Published a bunch of social media videos before they went and did it,
Before they did it.
telling everybody what they were going to do. So
What I'd missed, Kyle, though, you mentioned this person supposedly went by a number of different genders.
was transgender.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right.
I was trying to say it politely. I don't think there's a polite way to say it.
Yeah.
They're a male, biological male, who didn't identify as such anymore.
How does that play into it? Like, why did we need to bring that into the discussion?
Well, that's the entire discussion on the internet right now, and I believe it's part of the discussion because there seems to be for a subset that makes up a very small percentage of the population, this same subset seems to be involved in an unreasonably high amount of incidents like this.
Okay.
Is the
Okay.
suggestion.
That's the suggestion. All
And
right.
that's why it's a bit of a hot topic, because usually this information has been guarded, shielded, not released to the public. The ethnicity or the mental stability of certain shooters, or so that's definitely a hot topic on the internet right now. Would you say that this is a healthier world we're living in, or a sicker world that we're living in day by day?
Oh, it's definitely not healthier. It's just seems to be getting worse and worse, doesn't it? But like just thinking about our previous point of discussion about what we can do to defend ourselves, and I guess what you have on hand to commit a crime or to defend yourself, sort of guides that, doesn't it? And in Australia, we don't have the general person doesn't have access to weapons, like firearms. A lot of people don't have.
No.
You have to have a gun license to have a firearm, and I think in the US there's a lot more freedom around that.
You have a right to carry. It's in their constitution,
I believe you still have to get a license, but don't you?
It's pretty
I think
easy
it's
to
just
get,
easier
though.
to get one,
Yeah.
and the guns
Not
are more
sure.
readily
Yeah.
available.
I
But
think it
everyone
depends
has a
on the
right.
state.
It's very easy to get
Yeah, it
them.
depends
isn't
Yeah.
on the states.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm.
And so I guess what I'm saying is that, when you have access to those sort of weapons of destruction, it's more easy for those things to happen. Like,
Yep.
we don't hear many of those things. Of course, we've had them in Australia, but it's not as common as
The last big one they had, they took all the guns off everybody.
They did.
I mean, if you compare it, you look at Britain, for example, you look at Germany, a lot of countries in Europe by now. Well, not many people have guns, but what happens? Well, stabbings everywhere, right?
That's the weapons.
Then you look at Switzerland. Nearly everybody has a gun. Nothing's happening. They have just normal folk fests where you can just go with your rifle over your shoulder. Nothing happens. When do you hear of a mass shooting or any shooting in Switzerland?
That's interesting.
It is completely down to the people and the mindset of the people, really. And yeah, mental illness plays
The
into
health
that.
of the people.
Mostly. And of course, social cohesion plays into that. If you have somebody like that who obviously felt himself, or what I would imagine felt him or herself or whatever, excluded out of the society that they may wanted to fit in, I have no idea, and they were already not in a great mental place, then it doesn't work like that. But yeah, what do you do? No idea.
The the hatchet and the knife that the young girl was carrying in Scotland, is it legal for her to carry that around? Do you know?
Probably not.
I don't know, but in Melbourne, they spent $300,000 for steel bins per bin so that you could surrender your machetes
Your machete.
and your
Mhm.
knives.
Mm.
That's
And they've banned the sale of machetes from a certain date.
Did you see that one, Kelly? So they put all these, these machete sort of disposal bins so that you could surrender your machete before they come and take them off you.
Mm-hmm.
And it was 300 or 600. It was 300
Oh, I have no idea, but it must. It's
Hundreds of
way
thousands of
overpriced and
dollars.
it doesn't work.
Silly amount.
per
Yeah.
bin. Basically like an op shop bin with a little bit more security bolted to the ground. And the contract to do that was, $300,000 per bin. And there was like 16 bins across the city or something. So
Yes.
there's a little bit of outrage as to how we're spending money to control them.
Justifiably so. I think that's a
Yeah.
bit ridiculous.
I just did my taxes. and-
Victoria.
Now, this next story, the Adventist health message, when was the first vision on this given? It would have been about 1870s, 60s, 70s, somewhere.
1880 maybe?
Yeah,
First-
1880.
Yeah.
Okay, so how many years ago was that?
We're probably looking at 100
Nearly 150.
150,
years ago.
yeah, sorry.
Okay, so
My
let's
maths
say
is a bit slow this morning.
Never do math live on stream. That's
Thank
one of
you,
the golden
Johannes.
rules.
So let's say the Adventists have been trying to share a health message with the world for 150 years.
Mm.
Well, there's some breaking news out of America. The Health Secretary, Robert F. Kennedy, has just announced that schooling for doctors will now include nutrition, so doctors can teach their patients how to tackle chronic disease with lifestyle, not just drugs. Amazing idea.
Wow.
In the future, doctors won't just prescribe drugs, they'll also be able to prescribe diets as well. In the future, physicians should
Wow.
master the language of prevention before they touch a stethoscope.
Absolutely.
Nearly all medical
say.
residents are asked to counsel their patients about nutrition, but fewer than a quarter of practicing physicians feel adequately prepared to provide nutritional advice. I understood that in Australia, to become a doctor after 4 or 6 years, there was basically a couple days of nutritional training. Now, I'm not one. That might be wrong. Please, in the comments, correct me.
Yeah.
But it's definitely hasn't been a focus here. It's about to become a focus in the States. Are we?
Interesting.
Is that necessary, or are drugs the solution?
Oh.
Drugs are definitely not the solution.
More drugs, less drugs. What
I
do you
was
All
going to
less
be a little
drugs.
bit cynical and say, of course drugs are the solution.
Yeah,
No,
okay.
they're not.
We love the prevention
Absolutely, yeah.
option.
I'm just surprised that they've focused only on drugs and not, because they've certainly had nutritionists in America. It's not like they haven't.
Mm.
Have they not taken the ability to be able to promote that and say, hey, here's some people you need to talk to, i.e. a nutritionist?
Mm.
Or have they just gone, here's a drug, written out a script and
I'm
go
sure,
and get this?
I'm
Yes.
sure some have, but as we know, it's usually about the money.
Yeah.
follow the trail? Yes,
Mm.
every time.
Yeah.
It's the money.
Although, as somebody, I started a couple of years ago reading the ingredients lists of the things that I buy in supermarkets, and that has shrunk down the list of food that I'm willing to buy out of any kind of Woolies, for example, to probably less than 1% of what they have on the shelves.
Mm.
If I'm going just because I'm not a doctor or anything, but well, probably good for me. I'm just going by, okay, if I would produce this,
Mm.
would I put that in it?
Mhm.
And then you try to buy just, I don't know, a nice little wrap to put something in it. And even in this little piece of flour and water, there is an ingredients list as long as my arm.
Mm.
And all kinds of acidity regulators. And what I have no idea, is that good or bad
What
for
does
me?
that
Does
do
it
to-
even, what
Yeah.
does it even do?
Yeah.
Right?
You're
So-
buying a food product rather than a food.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it has actually led to that by now I can go through a supermarket and I'm in and out there within 2 minutes or something because I know exactly, okay, here I can only buy coffee filters because other than that, everything here is basically poison.
so
I'm
it
not going to
simplified
touch.
things for you.
Yeah, enormously. I encourage everybody to read the back of the package because it is
Mm.
astonishing what you find in there sometimes.
And
yeah.
stay away from the middle aisles. It's always the
Oh,
Yeah.
Kelly,
fresh
come on.
food.
Yeah.
You're taking away all the fun now. Those flavour enhancers and all that
Oh,
sort of
yeah.
stuff that's added in just
Yeah.
to make it taste better.
hmm
Yeah, you do have to wonder how much
Yeah.
benefit it provides to us.
Anything that you can't recognize, from what I can tell, only benefits the person who produces and sells it, not the person who eats it. So for
It's
my
about the money.
benefit, they don't put all that stuff in there. It's just for them.
It's just
So,
for them. Yep.
No,
Okay.
I'm good. Thank you.
And that's happening on a number of fronts. I think there's a number of companies, I don't have the list up, that are committing to removing all of these certain food dyes and colouring agents and numbers out of their food by within the next few years in order for their candy to remain on the shelves. It's mainly, sugary treat companies.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
I
So-
think going back to your original question, Kyle, it's a shame that the government has to legislate this is what now needs to happen in medical school for our doctors. You would have thought that they would understand how the human body works through their learning. Why then would they just think, oh, a drug's going to fix it? There's got to be some other things that we can look at. Why do we have to legislate to make sure that they do this? That's where it's a bit disappointing.
We probably will lead a lot less doctors if everybody would be much healthier
Oh,
than they are
definitely.
now.
No question. No question.
So that would be bad for doctors, wouldn't it? all of a sudden, the prices for a medical treatment
They'd
would
have
go
to
down.
compete, would they? They'd have to
Yeah.
compete for patients, so their price might come down.
I know.
Wow.
Some have a cynical view. I've just put it on the screen for those watching on YouTube. History shows we were healthier before these two came along. And that is an ex-CDC director and a Microsoft company boss.
Mr. Gates, is it? I can't quite see it
Yeah,
clearly,
it
even
is.
though I've got glasses on.
It is.
To an extent, sure, but I mean, as unlikable as these two guys are, they didn't put lead in petrol, right? I mean, there's a lot of stuff that is a health
you
risk.
sure?
Well, assuming
Kyle, that's
they
conspiracy.
didn't invent
Come on.
asbestos, right? All of these things. There's a lot of unhealthy things that just that are not necessarily deliberate, but just a side effect of I guess industrial revolution happening
Yeah, that's
and
right.
everything
We've
from
got our
there.
lifestyle. We're more sedentary than
Yeah.
what we ever have ever been. So that's
Absolutely.
a huge issue.
Yeah.
It's not just what we put in our bodies; it's how we use our bodies.
Well, a lot of people in America, I've never been there myself. Have you guys ever been to Cracker Barrel?
No.
No.
What is that?
No.
It's a southern food chain restaurant store of some sort. I believe it's like a sit-down restaurant called Cracker Barrel.
Mhm.
Anyways, this is just a little meme I wanted to show you. This is the old logo that has been reinstated on the company, and this is a bit of an AI compilation of Donald Trump shaking the hand of the old man Herschel, who's been reinstated back into the logo, and then they get up and they try and do a little Trump dance. It's an interesting dance. But essentially the story here is Cracker Barrel did a rebranding, and they I heard it described as a Canva logo. They replaced that existing logo with a Canva logo, just a real basic plain one.
Mm-hmm.
And they wanted to take away the old fashioned, the traditional, the heritage of it, and they wanted to make it more inclusive and basic and acceptable. I don't actually know more details than that, other than this caused extreme outrage from the Patriots, who wanted it to remain faithful to its roots. And this led to about a 64% decline over the last 5 years, but specifically with the logo change, it was 17% within the week in company value.
Wow.
More than 100 million, I believe, was wiped off their value.
Their value.
So
Wow.
within a week, the old logo came back, and then the AI meme started saying, "We did it."
We did it.
I don't know. What do you guys think? Do you believe that everything needs to change and be more inclusive and less traditional? And Johannes, you've got suspenders on.
Yeah, I do.
Is
but
this an indication?
no,
of
that has nothing to do with
tradition?
tradition. That is
Okay.
more practicability.
Okay.
But I mean, that ties in a little bit into our conversation from last time about architecture, right? Everything becomes, especially brand logos, as important or unimportant as they may be, over the last 20 years, all of them that have been changed have changed into something that is more boring and more plain. And I don't know if inclusivity is a thing, because inclusive then just means, well, exactly that, boring and uninteresting. Is that what inclusivity is? Because then I'm good, actually. Yeah, but it's good to see that we are now at a point where, well, and I mean, some people are calling this now cancel culture, which is it?
It's
I don't know.
Reverse cancel culture.
I mean, this is more closer to market forces actually working out than anything else. And it's good to see that the company actually caved and now the sales are going back up because, well, you're supplying a market for the customer, and what the customer wants is probably what the good thing is, right?
That's it.
Did you mean, Kyle, that the sales had increased by 17% in the first week of going back?
No,
Or
they
that was when they
the
changed.
the
it went
stock
down.
price had plummeted 17% because
first
they
week.
changed their logo and went in a direction that the fan base, Southern style restaurateurs, is that what you call them? Somebody who goes to a restaurant?
Oh,
No.
no.
Please help.
People
Just
that
the
run the
consumer.
restaurant.
Somebody in the comments
Customers.
needs to help me out. The customers didn't like it. The customers didn't want it. And the 40, 50-year-old marketing lady doubled down and said that wonderful feedback about our new logo. And everyone's like, what? Where was the
feedback?
wonderful
Where?
feedback? I haven't seen it.
Yeah, I think people get attached to something, and when it gets changed, they just it just throws them.
Mm.
I remember when I worked in grocery, if we changed a position of a product on a shelf, quite often people coming in were like, "Where can I find whatever it was?" People like something, and when it's constantly changing or being updated, unless they've been taken on the journey, what did you do that for?
Yeah.
Why did you need to do that? Oh, okay, if you're going to do that, I no longer want to buy it, or I no longer want to consume your product or eat at your restaurant. I'll go somewhere else.
Yeah. But talking about,
Yeah.
sorry,
No, you go first. Yeah.
talking about going back to the tradition question that you had, Kyle, I think we all have a tendency to think that new is better. We all seem to think that we're improving, like each generation is improving, and I think it's a faulty mindset because, I mean, just look at how much healthier our predecessors were.
Yeah.
And here we are thinking that we're better than them. We know with our accumulated knowledge, our, technology, everything makes us better, but it's not necessarily so, is it? Like it's
no.
just
No.
we need to stop having that arrogance of thinking that, okay, I'm better than my grandmother or I'm better than my parents, or because, there's so many things that they did do better than us. I think,
Absolutely.
yeah.
We're no better off.
Couple minutes left.
Yeah.
Sorry to cut you off there, Calvin. But just looking at this story, trying to get some context. So August 23, which is a week ago now, there was breaking news. President Trump threatens to remove Democrat Mayor Muriel Bowser while speaking in the Oval Office. He said, Bowser better get her act straight or she won't be mayor for very long because we'll take it over with the federal government and run it like it was supposed to. So this is D.C. This is Washington, D.C. This is the federal district there, District of Columbia. And they have surged National Guard, police, extra reinforcements to stop the crime since, there was too much crime basically. And Trump said, don't go into a restaurant if the front door is dirty. And DC is the front door of the country and we need to clean it up. Interesting, within a week, Democrat mayor of DC, Bowser, came out to support President Trump for cleaning up DC. The difference between this 20-day period of this federal surge and last year represents an 87% reduction in carjackings in the city.
Unbelievable.
87%.
And how easy that was achieved, right?
Just
So they
sending the
could
National
have
Guard.
done it at any point in time if they
course.
just wanted to. It's the
course.
same thing when they cleared out, what was it, LA, when the Chinese hobnob came there to get all the all the druggies and the homeless people out
California,
within
wasn't it?
Yeah.
a day.
Yeah.
It
Yeah.
is all possible. They just don't want
They
to.
don't want to.
It's like they like crime.
Well, they don't prioritize it. It's not a priority for them. They just focus on other things.
Well, do they?
Well,
maybe
they
getting
get
more
bogged up.
crime
They
in.
get
real-
clogged
like
up with different cases and different things going on, and all of a sudden there's a backlog of things happening, and we haven't got resources to focus on that, and it just goes on.
Okay, last question then.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Is your life better with the law in it?
What law are you talking about?
The law in general. This is a segue question.
Yes.
Does life get better when there's laws and governments that function?
If you follow it, and if it's followed.
And if you don't, is life better?
Nope.
Okay. So life is better if you follow laws, says Calvin. Johannes?
If I make the laws, yeah.
The law according to
So other
Johannes.
people's laws are no good.
Well, there are certainly people that I respect that I would trust with making laws that are
Me.
beneficial.
Me, right?
Let's make that discussion for another day. No, a law in and of itself, it's like, is every car good? No, of course not, right? Not every law is good. That's kind of obvious. But yeah, in general, laws are a great concept.
Right.
And you always need a certain amount to have a functioning society.
Okay.
But
So good laws.
limit a small amount
Small
of
government,
very
good laws.
well thought out laws. Yeah.
Okay. Kelly, is your life better with the law in it?
Yeah, I think what Johannes was just saying about what moral is driving or guiding your law. Like, there can be laws made that are not good.
Yeah.
So,
absolutely.
I think the laws are important, but what guides them?
Okay, so where do we get the majority of our laws from?
The Bible.
That's where it started.
Ultimately, it comes back to that. I
Yeah.
haven't heard of anybody suggest to me that there was a better system of government and law before the Bible. Do you know of any, Johannes, claims
Before
or
the Bible?
suggestions about pre-Bible laws?
Pre-Bible laws, I mean, there were, if you want to believe it, there were societies that go back a bit longer than the Bible may presume the
Okay.
world has actually been around.
Okay, that's a
Okay.
suggestion.
And I mean, they did, if there were indeed a thing,
Okay.
great things. We can still, we find ruins from back there that that show us, just by their intricacy, that there must have been an enormous amount of working
Structure.
together and structure and people working together. You cannot amount to a certain amount of craftsmanship if you also have to tend the chickens and do everything else, right? There needs to be an enormous amount of collaboration. For collaboration, you need laws, you need contracts, you need things that last over time, right?
So I'd suggest then, to wrap up, sorry we're running out of time, that the laws in the Bible are the core, the basis, the starting point of morality, and the common human psyche for what's acceptable and how do you decide what's good and what's bad, and why are mothers naturally drawn to nurturing their children, rather than just protecting themselves, looking after themselves, and survival of the fittest. And upon these laws, when we establish a foundation of these laws in our lives, your life actually gets better, becomes better. And I think that all of you sitting there have experienced that. I know I've certainly experienced that. And it looks like DC is starting to experience the fact that law, like no killing, no murder, no stealing, these are the 10 commandments, they're actually working in that city as well, just as they work in our lives. And so, Calvin, you've got a special book there, and it actually talks about how aligning yourself with the God of these laws would actually make your life better. And so,
Absolutely. Thanks, Kyle. If you want to know a little bit more, this is the book, Step Beyond. And if you would like a copy of it, simply text to 0482 082 876 the word turn.
step.
All right. Let me clarify that. You need to text the word step. Sorry about that. To 0482 082 876, and we'll get a copy out to you.
We will send you that book. We want you to step towards a life that is aligned to the law of God. We promise it'll be better than any other option you choose. Thank you for your time, Calvin.
Thank you, Kyle.
Thank you, Johannes.
Thank you.
Thank you, Kelly.
Thank you.
We'll talk to you next time.